So I ended up moving the RV from where I was at, which was kind of just on the other side of there. There's a road that goes along here to the gym, and that's where I had a spot available to me when I came over here from Orem. I came over and looked more closely, and it turns out that, in fact, oh crap, I just stepped on a plant. Turns out that there was a spot that was just large enough for me to get my RV in, and I actually had a hard time kind of getting shoehorned in here. Just parallel parking an RV is like kind of not an easy thing. I decided to come back over here because I like this better. I like it because there's grass right here. I can actually kind of come out and walk along the grass, which is kind of nice. You know, I think I'm going to try and stay here for the rest of the time until my new power unit comes in. I'm hoping that the power unit comes in this week. So tomorrow is going to be Monday, and the woman that I was communicating with said that once they get my unit, the malfunctioning one, then they turn around and they ship out a correct, you know, a fixed unit or a unit that's working. So I checked on FedEx and it arrived on Friday, so that's good. So that means hopefully they'll, you know, have their act together and they'll get it sent out, I don't know, Monday, tomorrow. That would be awesome if I got the new unit. The good thing is, my little unit, my backup unit, it's actually been working pretty well in terms of keeping me powered. One thing that I haven't done is I haven't been plugging the RV into it. What I would do with the AC200P, which has larger capacity, is I'll plug the RV into it. So I've talked about the fact that every now and then I have my orange, you know, extension cord plugged in, and it's kind of ghetto looking. But what I've been doing in the meantime is just turning on the engine now and then, because when I turn the engine on and drive, it charges the house battery, and all my lights and the fans and stuff like that run off the house battery still. I haven't engineered anything better. I just haven't done it, but I probably could. I know I could plug the RV into my smaller unit. It has a 1,000 watt inverter, and when I plug the RV into the AC200P, it usually draws about between 200 and 250 watts. Well, the inverter can totally handle that, but just because it has a smaller battery capacity, I've been trying to be sort of frugal with my power usage on it. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to having my new unit. On days when it was really cloudy, I was having to run the generator, and that backup unit has actually given me just an extra, you know, 1,200 watt hours of power to use, which has tided me over during times when it's been a little bit more cloudy. Okay, so it is time for me to get moving. My new power unit has come in. So I am moving here from my American Fork location, going over to my sister's place to get it. So I've got to get the scooter packed up. And unfortunately, there's not enough room here. So what I have to do is I have to go over that direction, and there's a little park with a little area enough for me to get my scooter up on. So time to get moving and get everything going. So I took my scooter down and I went to the spot that I normally load my scooter on when I'm here, but somebody has parked there. So fortunately, there is just a big shopping area next to my gym. One of the things that I've had to do while my power unit has been out, and it did come in, so yay, I'm excited about that, my primary power unit. We've had a lot of, this happens in Utah in the spring. Lots of storms come through, and so it'll be like this. It'll be sunny in the morning, and then by mid-afternoon it's really cloudy and stormy. So you can see there are some of the thunderstorms that are already beginning to form. By afternoon, those will be big raging thunderstorms. And so the single 180 watt solar panel that I've been feeding into the my backup power unit hasn't been getting a full charge. So I've been running kind of on low power mode. And part of that has to do with the fact that I would often plug the RV into the AC 200P because it has 510 watts, about 510 watts of solar panels driving it. And so I've got plenty of power coming into that. And I could plug the RV and charge the RV's house battery off that. Well, I haven't had that available. And while I can plug the RV into the backup power unit, and I forget its name, it's a 1200 watt, it just hasn't had enough juice to be able to plug the RV in for longer stretches of time. And so it's been a little bit dicey trying to run everything off 180 watts. So if you're thinking about doing solar, there's no way you'll be able to get away with just doing a 100 watt panel. I would say 200 watts is absolute minimum if you're thinking about trying to do solar. So this is where I'm going to load up. So that's where I parked my scooter. I always just store these right here. Actually, let's put those right there. It's always hard to get that. There we go. Now, so yeah, it's kind of a nasty dip. I gotta take that at an angle. Rock. Okay. But I'm thinking of painting the cabinets over the dinette area. And I thought, you know, I was looking at some examples of renovations that people have done. And a lot of people have done these, like blues or greens, teals. And so I was thinking about doing something like that as a complement to the white, so it's not all white. So I'm just going to go look at some color samples. And since Home Depot is on the way to my sister's place, I'm just going to stop there and get some samples and kind of look. Okay, this is Geneva Road. This is sort of a main thoroughfare through the outskirts of the Orem, Provo, Linden, American Fork area. This is what I had gotten before, but I don't think I need this specialized cabinet and trim enamel for the rest of the RV that I'm painting. So instead, they've got all of these other types. Marquee is the really nice, but I don't think I need that high end. So I came down here and found this. I think this is going to be good enough. This is sort of their mid-grade. I got a couple of things for some small projects that I'm going to be doing. I looked at a bunch of paint swatches. So these are some of the color swatches that I was just looking at. See, I really like that yellow, and I'm still maybe going to use it some way, but I was thinking about some of these other lighter blues. And I kind of moved away from the gray because I kind of thought, oh, it's going to be just too drab. So I'm just mulling over these. See, I like these. I think that yellow is maybe a little bit too muted. My default is to simply paint with the same white, which I really like, that I painted the cabinets. It's bright, it's a wonderful color, very slight hint of cream to it, but I also wanted to look at the possibility of adding a complementary color. And so I was looking at light gray blues, or to be more bold and to use like a yellow. I kind of like that idea because of the brightness of it, the psychological brightness of a yellow as opposed to a more neutral color. Okay, there it is. Just put it inside. There's my replacement. And I went to Home Depot and I got this. This is a waterproof top that I'm going to use for the base right there inside of where the microwave was. And then I got this light as a way of testing out adding light to the RV. Well, they've really got that taped up. Dang. Oh, there it is. I like this because it is a great foundation for that thing to sit in. Okay, there it goes. Pulling in 404 watts, 408 watts from the solar panels. I've actually got to go up there and clean my solar panels off. It rained and they're kind of dirty. So I made a bit of a discovery that I'm kind of bothered by. Turns out my new unit here, they sent me the wrong one. I was looking at it, it looks the same, but then I noticed something. It said up in the corner 1700 watt hour, and I thought, no, that can't be right. My previous one was a 2000 watt hour battery. So I went and I looked it up, and I actually looked here. So if we look at where it says data and then product info, you can see right there it says AC200. Mine was an AC200P, and the P denotes a newer version of this. And the big difference is that it has a 2000 watt hour battery, and this is a 1700 watt hour. But it's not just that the P had a higher capacity, it had a more advanced battery type. So they sent me the wrong unit. That frustrates me. So I'm going to have to send this back and get it replaced once again. And I got another extension cord, a 9-foot, because I hate that red one I'm pulling from the side of the RV. Let's go try this thing out. So as long as it's about like that. Look at how gangly this is. So this is one of those 15 to 30 amp converters. So yeah, that'll work better. That big, bright, garish, tangled one, that doesn't look nearly as bad. And I finally stored my heater. I put the heater, oh, my cable's right there. I put my heater under there. So this area I'm going to re-engineer just a little bit where my heater is, because I'm not using it anymore for the, until fall. This is the package that came with the Bluetti, and I'm going to use this to wrap it, to protect it. I've just been draping a piece of fabric over it, but gosh, look at how much dust and crud is down there. So what I've decided to do is take the heater and just move it down there, just back there. That's a perfect place for it to just hang out until it's ready to be used again. That is a perfect storage location for that. And that opens this area up. So I can just put the fan back here now. So I want to show you what I've done to the interior of the RV. I actually decided to come back and do more painting after I saw how painting that kitchen turned out and how brightened up it made. It just made the interior. I decided there were some other parts that I wanted to paint. So let's take a look at this. As we come in, look at that. I painted the wall. I painted all of that. But I left this because I liked the fact that it brought contrast into this area. I didn't want it to be too antiseptic. But I also painted the cabinets up there. So I painted those the white. I don't have any lights up there, and so it always just felt really dim and dark. And I've actually gone to Home Depot and found some lights that I'm going to augment these two lights with that will plug into my power unit. You can see I didn't mask very well. When I sit down, I left the underside, the wood, and it actually gives a nice sort of contrast. It just brings something more organic in there, but it's not all dark wood. Just between the kitchen and the walls, everything is so much brighter. The lights work so much better. I've got the curtains there, and I've got this board, because when I'm sitting there, I actually like to kind of rest my head back on something, and that board sits right there behind the couch, and it sits right up against the driver's seat, and so it's kind of solid. And it allows me to just sort of rest my head, because there wasn't anything.